I am so excited for this call. I have been looking forward to it all week long. I feel like it's just a really great time to have it. I contacted Britnie Kaplan, Purple Status Presenter, and she had done a training in Tallahassee that just really spoke to me. And it's amazing how long you can be on as a presenter and not even fully understand why. And we hear that all the time, people talking about their whys. What's your why? Let's share our whys. Let's make a video about our whys. But it's when you really tap into it that you finally understand what that even means. And that's something that Britnie gave to me at the Tallahassee training. If you're in Team Nourished, you may have seen a post that a woman in our company, Georgia, made yesterday. Now, she's been a presenter for a really long time, you guys, and just yesterday, something happened. It was deeply personal, and if you read that thread, you know that it was also profoundly emotional. She found her why, and that's such an incredible discovery, and it's exactly why I really wanted Britnie to help share that with you, and hopefully help you tap into your why as well. So thank you so much, Britnie. I'm going to hand it on over to you, and let's hear it, ladies.
Ooh. Okay. Can everybody hear me okay? Oh, let's see. Am I muted? No, we're good. Okay. Hi guys, I'm Britnie Kaplan, Purple Status Presenter, and as Angela told you before, I did a training in Tallahassee on how to find your why it's so important, and the values behind it. So this is, and I told Angela before I started this is the first time ever that I actually have written notes, because this is such an important topic, and I just want to make sure that you guys don't miss anything ever with this particular topic. So when you sign up in network marketing, you hear three things all the time. You hear pay attention, so follow what your leaders are doing, keep your eyes open, your ears open, kind of be that sponge, absorb everything. You hear get excited. Stay excited. People aren't going to buy from somebody that's not excited. You have to be excited about your business. And then lastly, they say never quit. And it seems like a really easy concept when you first start, because one, you're really excited. You're paying attention to what your sponsor is doing and what the other girls in your team are doing. But you haven't really had to face a situation where you have to decide, I'm not going to quit. So how do you determine what's going to continue to push you further when you get to that crossroad and you have to decide, am I going to continue to go further, or is this really not for me? What is going to give you that motivation and that push for you to say, I'm not going to quit. This is not going to defeat me, and I'm going to continue to go on. So as humans, it's human nature to take the easy way out. So if we get to a point where things are getting a little difficult, or you're having an off week at home, or things just aren't rolling, you have a slow month, it's easy for you to sit back and say, that's it, this isn't for me, the products just aren't right, the comp plan's not right, I'm just not built for this. It's human nature for us to want to take the easy road and just throw up our hands and give up. But I'm here to tell you, this business, it's not easy. It is for the determined, and I told my team this today, it is for the determined and those that are strong-willed and willing to do anything and everything that they need to do, that when they get to these moments that they feel like they need to quit, that they're going to push through. So what is your why? Your why is something that pushes you to do whatever it is that you need to do to change a specific situation that you're going through. And I told the girls in Tallahassee, you know when you've found your why, when one of two things happens. You feel it in your tummy, so you get those little butterflies going, and it makes you super excited, or it brings you to tears, because you know that if whatever you're going to achieve, whatever your why is, once you've achieved that, you've conquered it, you've reached that goal, your life is forever changed. So just know that. You know that you've hit your why once you're getting those butterflies, or you've literally started bawling like a baby. And for me, it was both. More crying than the butterflies, but it was definitely a monumental moment for me in my business. So you need to determine what drives you emotionally. Because we can sit here and I can say, okay, what's your why? And I can guarantee you 90% of you are going to say, I just want to pay my bills, or I want to have a college fund for my kids. I want to be able to go on vacation. And although all of those things are great, that's not your why. Your why has an emotional attachment to it. So, for example, let's say let's use me for an example. I did have over $450,000 in medical bills. That's a lot of medical bills. I had no insurance, so it all had to come out of pocket. I had hospitals and doctors that almost didn't even want to see me. And the only reason that they see me was because by law they have to. They can't turn me away, but I owed them so much money. So for me, I had the weight of the world on my shoulders, and I had to figure out, how can I change this situation? How am I going to change the weight that I'm carrying on my back? And I thought that that was my why, but it wasn't. I had to really sit and say to myself, how would I feel if I were to pay off half of that debt? How would I feel if I paid off all of that debt? And I really had to sit and harness those feelings, really sit and feel what that would feel like to even pay $100,000 off. That's more than some people make in a year. And I sat and I harnessed it, and I went into a room and I just said, okay, 100,000. If I could just pay 100,000 off, how would that make me feel? Would it alleviate any of the stress? And I sat and I meditated on it, and I attached that feeling at that particular time with the goal of 100,000. And then I said, what if I paid off half? How would that make me feel? And I harnessed that feeling, and I attached it to that thought of paying $250,000 off of debt. And then I did it for the whole goal of the 450. And once I realized at the end of this, and I was probably in my room for about an hour, I was bawling like a baby. And not because I was sad or emotional, but I was excited. I knew that I had found a way to make this all better. And all I had to do was let my emotions drive me. So when you're finding your why with your goals, so if you're somebody that you're in major credit card debt, how would it feel if you paid off one of those credit cards? Create small goals along the way to your larger goal, because I will tell you, if your why is very big, if you have medical debt like I do, or if it's a very, very large goal, which it should be, because your main goal should be huge, you need to create smaller goals in between, so steps to it, achieving that goal. So we'll use the credit card debt for example again. If you have credit card debt, how would it feel to pay off that one credit card? Harness that feeling, and when you achieve it, celebrate it, because that is a huge thing for you to be doing. When you pay off 2 credit cards, how would it make you feel? Create little pit stops that are getting you along the way to that larger goal. And once you do that, those emotions that you're attaching to those small goals, it's what is going to continue pushing you to achieve that. But remember, you have to have an emotional bond to whatever goal it is, because we can all sit and say we want to make more money. That's great. But how would you feel if you made $100 extra, $1,000 extra, tens of thousands of dollars? How would it change your life for the goal that you're aiming for? And that's what we all need to remember. It's an emotional bond to your goal. Okay? You have to find time. You have to find time. And I understand we live in a crazy whirlwind of lives. We have jobs, we have kids, we other businesses, we have husbands, illnesses, you name it, we go through it. But I can tell you right now, if you do not set time aside for yourself to reach those goals, it will never happen. And I am telling you, whatever you have to do to reach those little spots where you can put time aside, do it. I tell my girls all the time, especially the moms, when you go into the bathroom and you see the little hand underneath the door because you know that you can't do anything without your kids, bring your phone in the bathroom. While you're tinkling, work on something. It takes a couple seconds. Whatever you have to do to work towards your goal, to change your life, you have to do that, okay? Your why needs to be so important to you that when people say no, it doesn't bother you. You go, okay, next. Listen to me again. Your why needs to be so important that when people tell you no, it does not faze you. I get told no probably 30 to 40 times a day. I reach out anywhere between 30 to 75 people a day about either purchasing something or joining the business. Just depends on how busy I am. And probably every day I count ignores as no's. It does not faze me because I know that I'm just one step closer to my yes that's going to help me get closer to achieving my why. So don't let those no's bother you. And if they are, then your why is not strong enough. You haven't harnessed the correct emotion behind your why. You do not want those no's. You don't want those people. We all have them. They think that what we're doing isn't a real business. We're in a silly mascara business. You know, we sell makeup. You know, we're the Mary Kay and the Avon ladies. No, we're not. We're so much more than that. And your why is so much more than that. Do not let those people bother you with their comments. And if you have really harnessed what your why is, that stuff will not faze you. I cannot tell you how many people laughed when I told them what I was doing. They still laugh. Friends, family. I reached out to probably 8 or 9 high school friends the other day. They all read my message and nobody responded. And you know what? It doesn't bother me. In fact, it fuels my fire even more because I know that their no's just lit a fire underneath me to find that yes even more so that I can reach my why. So make sure that those no's don't bother you. Use that as a driving force to accomplish your goals. I want you to sit in your room, and I had my team do this a while ago. I want you to sit in your room, and I want you to write your goal down, okay? And then, do you remember when we were kind of like in elementary school, and I don't know if everybody's school did this, but you kind of had to, when we were getting ready to write a paper, you kind of had to map out everything, right? So you had to write out your main idea in the circle, and then you drew these little lines out with like ideas that were going to support it for your other paragraphs. I kind of want you to do this with your why. And this is kind of like a map to try to figure it out, because some people, you're listening to me and you're like, oh, this is easy. I'll be able to harness my emotions, while others of you are sitting and going, I don't even know where to start. So for those of you that are having a problem with trying to figure out how to figure out what your why is, I want you to sit in your room, have the husband watch the kids for 20 minutes, get a babysitter, whatever you have to do, lock yourself in the room, complete silence, get your paper, write out what your main goal is in the middle. And then I want you to draw 5 little lines coming off of that main idea. And I want you to write down 5 emotions that you would feel if you achieve that goal. And I don't just mean, oh, I would be happy. That's not strong enough. You would say, I would be happy because, and put a reason behind it. I would feel no stress anymore because. This would change my life because I would feel like I'm somebody because I've achieved my goals. I want to make my parents proud. I want to make my kids proud because. You have to have a because behind those emotions. You need to know where those emotions are coming from, because a lot of us, we're not in touch with our emotions. We don't know how to deal with them. But if you can figure out what drives that emotion, that's going to tie it to your main goal. This is going to help you figure out what your real purpose and what your why is, so that you can get those butterflies or start crying like a baby. Okay? Goals are dreams with deadlines. That's all it is. Your why is your goal, and you need to have a deadline on it. And I don't mean, a ridiculous goal of, I know I had $450,000 of medical debt, and I couldn't set a goal of, oh, I'm going to pay it off in 6 months. You have to be realistic. And that's why I want you to schedule out smaller goals on the way to it. So again, we'll go back to the credit card thing. If you have one credit card, look at your smallest credit card. Figure it out. If you're paid at 20% commissions, figure out what your commissions are and say, this is how many mascaras I need to sell to pay off this credit card. And then say, how would that make me feel? And write it down. Give yourself a goal. How long is it going to take you? What's your average that you sell on a monthly basis? If it's 25%, do the same thing. And those of us that make 30%, same thing. Give yourself a deadline. So for a small credit card, give yourself 3 to 6 months. For a larger credit card, maybe 6 to 9. And then your overall goal, think long term. Okay, this isn't just a year from now. This isn't 2 years from now. This is overall. If I sat and I told you time and money were not a factor in your life, what would your life look like? What kind of home would you live in? What would your children's lives look like? What would your husband's life look like? What would yours look like? If I said you could do anything that you want on a day-to-day basis because you've reached your goal, what would it look like? So remember, it takes time. Things just don't happen overnight for everybody. And those that have that overnight success, they have more whys. You know, once you've reached that why, you're going to have to sit down, you're going to have to remap it out and figure out what it is you're going to do longer down the road. So give yourself, you know, a 1, 3, 5, 10-year plan. But what is that overall goal that you have? And schedule smaller milestones that are going to get you to that larger goal. Okay, give yourself deadlines. And if you don't make it during that deadline, don't let it bother you. The same thing with people telling you no or making fun of your business. Don't let it bother you. Let it be your driving force to push you harder to reach that goal. Because I can guarantee you, when you hit that goal, it is going to be the most amazing feeling that you have ever felt in your entire life. And I'm trying so hard not to cry because I've been through that. I've hit those goals. I know what that feels like. And I want you all to feel what I feel. And these aren't sad tears. These are happy tears. To know that I set goals for myself with deadlines and I hit them. And because of that, it's made me a stronger leader for my team. And I can help others achieve these goals. And I want you to feel this. I want everybody to feel these small goals, whether it's being able to take your family out or being able to pay off your debt or send your kids to college or buy a new car. I know that there's women out there, you have families of 5 and 10, and there's one car. You can do this. If I can do this, I grew up in a very, very, very small town. You can do it. I'm no special. I'm not any more special than anybody else. The only difference between me and those that are not successful is I didn't give up. I found my why, and I let it drive me every single day. And the moment that you do that, your life and your business is going to change for the better. Remember, when your thoughts and your words and your emotions, they tie together. This is law of attraction. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Take out the negativity in your life. Friends, family, coworkers, whatever you have to do, get it out of your life, because unless they're paying your bills and they're going to change your life, you don't need them. But when your thoughts and your words and your emotions align and you have people behind you backing you up, working for the same reason, and we all have different whys, but we all have the same purpose, and that's changing our lives and that's changing our families' lives. And when you have people that are doing the same thing and backing you up, and you're surrounding yourself with people like that daily, your life is going to change. So please take out the negative words, I can't, I'll try, I will, I'll see, and replace it with I can. I can do this. Find your why and let it drive you like nothing has ever driven you before. Because I'm telling you, when you have your why figured out, you're going to wake up every morning without your alarm clock, and you're going to grab your phone and you're going to want to check in with your team. And if you don't have a team, you're going to want to check in your back office and you're going to get to work. And any second that you have, you're going to want to work on your business. And it's going to come very natural to you in second nature. And you're just going to work. And every time that you get down, remember what that why is and remember those smaller steps. And anytime that you get down on yourself, because we have off months, I just did last month, I wanted to throw my hands up myself and I had to sit and go in my room and I had my paper written out with my circle and all my emotions, and I went through and I revisited every single one of those emotions. And by the time I was done in that room, 10 minutes later, I was ready to go. It drives you. Find your why, and it's going to change your life. Lastly, before I let you guys go, after you've figured out what your why is, I want you to write down 3 goals for yourself. And I have my team do this too. And I want you to write down a goal for this month. And I want you to write down a goal for next month. And these 2 goals are business related. And thirdly, the last goal, I want you to write down, it's a personal goal. And it has nothing to do with business. It could be, if you want to quit smoking, if you want to lose a couple pounds, if you want to start eating better, you want to make more time for your family, something personal, completely non-business related. And I want you to post it on your mirror or somewhere that you're going to see 2 times a day. And I say your mirror because we brush our teeth in the morning and we brush our teeth at night. Shut the door. Again, harness those feelings. But these goals that you're creating for yourself, they need to tie into your why. I have my girls put it on their phones as their screensavers. It says, I can and I will achieve whatever their status is, or I can and I will achieve whatever their goal is. You need to constantly have visual reminders around you because you need to see them. You need to correlate with them. You need to, I have sticky notes all over my house. It looks like a sticky note factory blew up. And I have whiteboards. I have things on my phone, my laptop, my iPad. It's everywhere. I always see it. You have to see things daily. You need to see it on a constant basis so that it can continue to drive you for what it is that you need. Once you do that, send it to your sponsor. Just say, here's my goals. And find yourself an accountability partner. They don't have to be the same status as you. You can just use your sponsor, or if you have a friend in the business, you guys be accountability partners together and hold yourselves accountable to those goals. Because when you have somebody working with you, like I said before, it's going to drive you so much further than just working alone. So if anybody needs any help with any of this, this is a really, really important topic for me because it's changed my life. It really has changed my life the moment that I was able to really understand how to find your why. If you need help, get with Angela. Maybe the team can compile some questions or comments, and then she can send it to me, and then I can answer it maybe together, like as a whole, so that messages aren't being buried in my inbox because it's kind of crazy. So get your questions maybe to Angela or however she wants to do it, but I'm here if you guys need me. This is so important. I promise you guys, the moment that you figure out your why, everything is going to change in your life. So thank you for having me. I'm so excited for you guys. Angela, thank you for inviting me. I'm honored to be on your team call. This really means a lot.
Thank you so much for coming. It's a good thing our mascara is waterproof, or water resistant, I suppose. We'll have people come to us and ask, and you'll have people come to you as well, people in your company, and say, how do I motivate my team? And I think Britnie really summed up the reality that, what she just said, that really inspires me. She inspired me, and as leaders we can inspire. The motivation, that has to come from within. We can't motivate anybody, but when they do everything that Britnie's talking about, and we really, really tap into that, we can find our own motivation, and that is a really beautiful thing. Thank you, Britnie, so much. I am so grateful for you being on this team call.
You're welcome.
Okay, we love you, and we will see you next time.